The right-wing media, which also includes the one in Britain, told me that Meghan has the power to make things move. She can cause earthquakes, she can cause droughts. Oh my God, she can make tunnels move right next to her even when she's miles away from it. So Meghan, we don't need to talk about this anymore, ma'am. You see this right here? This is a binder, and I got a binder full of bitches I need you to take care of for me, because the right-wing media told me that you are a god and everything that you do yields results. So well, first let me say this. Can you make it rain out here? Forget earthquakes. We need rain out here because we got a water ordinance because of the drought, and I can't water my grass. I need you to make that happen, ma'am. In my Mitt Romney voice, binder full of bitches, Meghan. Call me, please. Shoot me a DM. I need you to make things happen. I want what you do for everyone else to happen for me too, okay? That's all I got to say about this whole meltdown situation, all right? Bye.
If an adult is barely able to survive the bullying and predation of the online world and the dangers that these platforms bring, how is a child? So speak up. Demand better from the platforms shaping our children's lives. Be an example in your own social media use of how to be intentional in every moment that you like, that you comment, that you post, that you share. We could all universally agree on one thing. We want our children to be safe. Let our children look back at this moment and let them feel proud of us, that we chose something better for them and for us all.
Many of you think that Meghan Markle is a horrible person for moving Harry away from the royals. However, I'm older than a lot of people on here, and I remember this group of royals from 45 years ago. The royals were not a family that really made news here. They were considered very uptight and stodgy. However, when Charles decided to marry Diana, everything changed for them. She was a very relatable princess, and she put them on the map. When Diana died, the whole world went into mourning for her. It was the most incredible outpouring of love and support I have ever witnessed in my life. It took 6 days for Queen Elizabeth to address the public because the royal family was in complete shock. They thought she was an embarrassment and they wanted her gone, only to find out that she was actually the most beloved royal of all. Diana had a very difficult marriage with Charles because he was having affairs throughout their marriage. Not just one affair, but he had many. The most notable one is with Camilla. Now, tell me, do you not think it's a little perverse that many years later, he ends up bringing Camilla into the royal family amongst the children that he had with Diana? I mean, in what world would this be normal? There's also some speculation that the royal family had something to do with Diana's demise, but we'll never know that for sure. So let's talk about Andrew, the brother of Charles. You know, the guy who's associated with Jeffrey Epstein and the underage girls. You do realize that there was a lawsuit, and, well, I guess Andrew didn't fare well because then the Queen removed him and banned him from royal duties for the rest of his life. Now, if he had been a commoner, he would have been in jail for 20 years. He got off easy. So how come none of you feel the need to harass him online? Because he deserves it, frankly. Then we have William, the brother of Harry. Now, supposedly he's had an affair as well. Doesn't surprise me, like father, like son. So is it true? I don't know. I can't say for sure, but it is believable. So for all those people that like to spew hate toward Meghan Markle, I say kudos to her for getting her family away from this dysfunctional, criminal, entitled royal family. She is actually the smartest one of all.
Meghan Markle joined the British royal family when she married Prince Harry. Since then, she's been in the spotlight, with the media shaping how people see her, sometimes unfairly. As the first mixed-race woman to marry into the royal family, Meghan faces extra scrutiny. This essay explores how she's treated differently and why honest media coverage matters. Media scrutiny means that the press looks very closely at someone's life. Reporters watch, study, and write about almost everything they do. For public figures like Meghan Markle, this can feel like living under a microscope. Sometimes media scrutiny can be positive. Good stories can help people see the royal family as interesting or helpful. But when the coverage is mostly negative, it can hurt the person being watched. Meghan has faced this kind of close, critical attention more than most royals. For example, stories about Meghan often focus on small mistakes or things she says. Even simple choices, like what clothes she wears, can lead to big headlines or harsh comments. When her sister-in-law Kate made similar choices, the stories were much kinder. This difference in treatment is what people call a double standard. It means Meghan is judged more harshly than others for the same actions. This is not fair, and it tells us something is wrong with how the media works. A double standard happens when two people are treated differently for doing the same thing. In Meghan's case, the press often finds fault with her in ways they do not with other royal family members. This can be seen in many examples. When Meghan held her baby bump during her pregnancy, newspapers called it showing off. But when Kate Middleton did the same, the stories said it was sweet or loving. The same action, but very different words. Meghan was also criticised for spending money on her wedding, her clothes, or her house. However, when other royals spent similar amounts, reporters did not complain as much. This creates an unfair picture. Even when Meghan tried to help by talking about charities, some headlines painted her as attention-seeking. For others, the same work was called royal duty or service. These differences affect how people feel about Meghan. This double standard is a problem because it is driven by bias. When journalists let their own opinions or feelings get in the way of fair reporting. To understand why Meghan is treated so harshly, we need to talk about misogynoir. This word combines misogyny, hatred of women, and noir, the problem for Meghan, but for many women of colour in public life. For Meghan, misogynoir means the press sometimes uses negative stereotypes. They might call her difficult, angry, or demanding. These words are often used to attack black women unfairly, even when there is no real problem. Explaining this term helps us see that Meghan's treatment is not only about being a woman or a royal. It is also about how society sees women, with her speaking out about his struggles. But when Meghan opens up, headlines often call her difficult or ungrateful. This shows how gender and race can change the way the media talks about people, even in the same couple. Bias means having a strong opinion for or against someone that is not fair. In the press, bias can lead to stories that pick sides. Sensationalism is when news makes things sound bigger or worse than they really are, just to get attention. Many stories about Meghan use sensational words or focus on drama. Headlines might say, "Meghan's meltdown," or "Royal feud explodes," even if nothing very serious happened. This makes readers think things are worse than they are. When the media uses bias and sensationalism, it can spread rumours and half-truths. Readers may believe these stories, even if they are not true. This is unfair to Meghan and can hurt her reputation. Journalists have a responsibility to be fair and tell the truth. When they do not, it can damage people's lives and make it hard for the public to trust the news. Sometimes stories about Meghan continue even after people show they are not true. This happens when rumours are more exciting than the truth, so the media keeps repeating them. These false stories, they help to keep unfair stories alive and spread wrong ideas. Unfair media coverage does not just hurt feelings, it can have real effects on people's lives. Meghan has spoken about feeling sad and isolated because of negative news stories. She and Harry even stepped back from royal duties to protect their family's well-being. When the press spreads negative stories, it can also lead to online bullying or threats. Some people may copy what they read and write cruel messages to Meghan or her supporters. This can make life very difficult for anyone in the public eye. The royal family is supposed to be an example for the country. When the media treats some members unfairly, it sends a message that bias and discrimination are acceptable. This is not the lesson. Everyone's story is told with respect.